So the government is urging tech giants to pay Australian news media organisations for their news content or face a new tax. The ABC joined a number of other companies, including 7, 9 and News Corp, to welcome the proposed law. They say it's a critical step towards securing the future of Australian news. By prioritising commercial deals, this legislation protects our democratic way of life. But Meta says that a government-mandated transfer of wealth from one industry to another with no connection to the value exchanged will not deliver a sustainable or innovative news sector. It's a second attempt to make this sort of change. Rod Sims helped draft the first attempt while chair of the ACCC, and he joins us now from Canberra. Rod Sims, welcome. So you were the architect of the previous effort to make the big digital platforms cough up support for local journalism. It generated a lot of money that went to Australian media organisations, but those big tech giants were able to sidestep that eventually. Do you still think that was a success as a first attempt?
Oh, I think there's no question the News Media Bargaining Code was a success. You had around 250 million paid by both Google and Facebook to just about all media organisations that supply core news. So I don't think there's any doubt it was a success. It's probably, as I say, raised about $1 billion for journalism over time. And keep in mind, there were 5-year deals and 3-year deals. So under the News Media Bargaining Code, Google kept working, so there were no problems there, and Google was 70% of the payments. Meta, which was 30% of the payments, only did 3-year deals and basically said they'll stop doing deals, and if you try and designate us under the code, we'll stop showing any media on our platform. So that caused the problem that the News Bargaining Initiative is trying to fix. But it was a success, and it was still working with Google.
Okay, so now we have this proposal for another effort at getting those big digital platforms to pay up. What do you make of this levy proposal if they don't make agreements with local media organisations?
Look, I think the first thing to say is that we have to congratulate the government for doing this. I mean, the News Media Bargaining Code was world leading, and the News Bargaining Initiative, which will capture companies whether or not they're showing news so that it can stand up to the threats by companies like Meta, is also world leading. So, well done before I make any other comments. The News Media Bargaining Initiative, which basically charges search engines and social media 2.75%, which
2.25, I think it is.
Right, 2.25, thank you, just checking you're concentrating there. 2.25%, which you can get down to 1.5% if you actually do deals. So that's the incentive. It is complicated. I'm hoping that gets companies to do deals. And just in response to Meta's statement, I mean, we know what the commercial value is because deals were done under the News Media Bargaining Code. So we have a rough idea of what good commercial value is. And I think the news bargaining incentive is just trying to replicate that.
Are you concerned at all that they'll eventually work out a way to get around this as well?
Well, look, 2 comments, if I may. One, we knew they were getting around this, 18 months, 2 years ago, and it has taken a long time for the government to do anything. Now they're moving very fast and they want it all done quickly because they realise the Google deals are expiring towards the middle of the year. So, congratulations, they've got their foot on the accelerator. Would have been nice to have done that earlier, a lot earlier. I think, though, that now they're on the case. If there are other funny games played by any of the platforms like Meta, then I think the government will move pretty quickly to close it off. So I think they're on the case now. I'd be surprised if the government didn't react quickly if there were any ways through.
What do you make of AI platforms not being covered in this? The government is saying that will be dealt with by other departments like Attorney General on copyright.
Well, I think copyright is good for explaining the liability they've got, which is that they are caught by copyright, they can't steal people's content without paying for it. It doesn't actually provide a good mechanism for payment. So what I'm hoping the News Bargaining Initiative does is have the AI companies realise that they have to pay for the content they're using. And, AI companies absolutely need media content. They can't exist without it. So we want them to pay for it. So if they can do deals voluntarily, good. If they can't, I hope that they realise that a news bargaining initiative type arrangement could apply to them. And I hope very much that's what the government has in mind.
And just how important is this?
Oh, this is fundamental to our democracy. I mean, journalism is key to democracy because it provides a set of standard facts. It's a journal of record. It tells us what's going on. It holds the powerful to account. Various bloggers and a whole lot of people on social media, they're dealing with single issues, but it's the media that covers the whole landscape and which gives us some sense of common facts. And without that, our democracy, I don't think will survive. So I think what's happened today is fundamental to democracy and must be widely supported.